The past several weeks have not been good to Israel Adesanya. For former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, things are getting worse. The 33-year-old was recently defeated by longtime rival Alex Pereira for the UFC championship, and he has since been arrested and suspended. Today, we have brought to all MMA fan bases a special video in which we will tell you about a recent suspension for Israel Adesanya. Sit tight and stick to the end of this video to learn more. With a career record of 23 victories and 1 defeat, Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya, is the current middleweight champion of the UFC. Former Glory kickboxer Israel is now ranked number 2 among men in the UFC's pound-for-pound rankings. Adesanya was knocked out for the first time in his MMA career by Pereira this past weekend, and as a result, he has been suspended indefinitely. In response to Israel Adesanya's knockout loss to Alex Pereira at UFC 281, a medical suspension of indeterminate duration has been imposed. When he was knocked out in the 5th round of his fight with former kickboxing foe Pereira at Madison Square Garden in New York, Adesanya, 33, was seeking to make his 6th defense of his middleweight title.
Easy, that one came off the shoulder, left hook Adesanya, another heavy right hand.
The fight was nearly over when the last stylebender was winning and needed to hear the final horn to keep his title, but Pereira hurt him with a barrage of punches, forcing referee Mark Goddard to call timeout with 3 minutes remaining. Adesanya, a former champion, was among the 19 fighters from the event who have been suspended indefinitely by the New York State Athletic Commission for medical reasons. He has been given a 60-day mandatory rest period. Additionally, Pereira was given an indefinite suspension from the commission with a short 30-day rest period. Adesanya explained why he wants to take some time away from the cage.
And he goes down!
Following his knockout loss. As he said on the MMA Hour, "It was my 3rd fight in 10 months as a champion, putting it on the line every single time. I'm going to really enjoy myself and just chill. I'll travel and help my teammates as well, help them get ready for their respective fights. But I deserve this. I earned this." Adesanya was on the receiving end of several huge Pereira blows before the fight was waved off by the referee. He was rocked by an almighty left hook that put him into survival mode, but he had no defense for Pereira. Adesanya thought he was fine even after the first blow, but accepted he was overpowered in a crazy moment. He said, "I'm grateful. What a life. What a moment. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Similar to the last time. Same story. It's crazy. I was fine. The first thing I said to the ref was I'm fine because I was still lucid, still in there, and I was fine, but it happens. I talked to my coaches and I trusted them, but I was fine. I could see everything that was happening. My eyes might have rolled into the back of my head a little bit, but I was lucid. I'm grateful. I'm proud. My team's proud of me and respectfully, fuck all this shit. Fuck everybody else. It's all about my team." On the list are 19 fighters who will not compete again for an undetermined period of time without a doctor's approval.
And Israel Adesanya, Costa closing in the plus 155 range. Israel Adesanya.
There were 11 finishes on the card. Frankie Edgar, Dominic Reyes, Nikolai Negomirano, Sung Woo Choi, and Atman Azaidar are among the 19 players who have been suspended indefinitely and are each prohibited from playing for at least 90 days. The main event competitors, former champion Israel Adesanya and current middleweight champion Alex Pereira, both received lifetime bans. Adesanya received a 60-day suspension, while Pereira received a 30-day one. The combatants are also prohibited from sparring until their suspension have been lifted.
Attacks that lead leg of Adesanya.
Which is a significant departure from NFL's policy, which enables players to return to the field just 1 week after suffering a concussion. Adesanya, also known as the last stylebender, controlled the battle for 4 rounds and entered the 5th round with a 3-1 judges scoring advantage. Adesanya will now be subject to a lengthy punishment as a result of Pereira becoming the first fighter since his UFC debut to knock him out. The reason for Adesanya's medical ban is that he was knocked out just like his rival, the American-Nigerian MMA fighter Kamaruddin Usman. Adesanya has been suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission after a series of blows landed by Pereira resulted in a stoppage. For the following 30 days,
Adesanya in and out.
Adesanya is supposed to recuperate and refrain from any fight training. Adesanya also expressed his wish to take some time off before returning for the trilogy against Pereira prior to the suspension. Speaking to the MMA Hour, he said, "It was my 3rd fight in 10 months as a champion, putting it on the line every single time. I'm going to really enjoy myself and just chill. I'll travel maybe and help my teammates as well. Help them get ready for their respective fights. But I deserve this. I earned this. In the main event of UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, only Pereira, the only person to ever knock out Adesanya, was able to finish him off once more via TKO at 2 minutes 1 second of the 5th and final round. In just his 4th fight with the organization, Pereira won the match and the middleweight championship. Adesanya had held the title since that year. Adesanya rocked Pereira towards the close of the 1st round on Saturday, and a shaky Pereira was essentially spared by the bell. In the 2nd round, Pereira fought back strongly with a pair of his trademark left hooks. In the 3rd and 4th rounds, Adesanya was able to contain Pereira and even used some wrestling and grappling to take the 1st round. After a leg kick exchange in the 5th, Adesanya curiously fell and rolled backward. Pereira, according to him, delivered a kick on his right leg's peroneal nerve,
starting to really get red on that leg, that lead leg,
which can cause the leg to become numb. At the post-fight press conference, "That's why my footwork was compromised," Adesanya said. "It was just my leg. My leg gave out." Kudos to him. He invested in those well. At UFC 276 in July, Pereira, 7-1, defeated Sean Strickland via 1st-round knockout to win the opportunity to defend his championship. The Brazilian powerhouse is 4-0 in the UFC and has 6 KO TKO victories in 7 MMA contests overall. The 35-year-old Pereira previously held the middleweight and light heavyweight titles in Glory Kickboxing. So many years of hard work and dedication, and here I am, champion of the world. Pereira said, apart from the suspension, before Israel Adesanya boarded his aircraft back to New Zealand, the last style bender was detained by the Port Authority Police Department at JFK Airport. His manager acknowledged that the former champion had received metal knuckles as a present from a fan, for which Adesanya was jailed. Adesanya packed it without being aware
that's it.
that it was prohibited to bring metal knuckles to JFK Airport, which led to him being stopped in the screening area. Metal knuckles are a type of glove. It left the police department with little choice because it was a misdemeanor, and possession of it was punishable by up to 1 year in prison. Some fans might be perplexed by the news of his arrest, given that Israel Adesanya is also on UFC's suspension list. The suspension, though, is a medical one and is unrelated to his arrest. Adesanya actually has been released, and his manager has already confirmed that he is returning to New Zealand. It's just bad timing for the former middleweight champion of the UFC.
Yeah, and that's what Izzy's going to do. He's going to be smart and he's going to try to let Costa fall.
And just 2 days after the stacked pay-per-view took place in Madison Square Garden, the New York State Athletic Commission issued a complete list of medical suspensions, which corroborated that observation. This is all for today. What do you want to say about the indefinite suspension for Israel Adesanya? Do you support the decision of suspension? Tell us in the comment section below. We have made great effort to bring these interesting videos to you. Kindly hit the like button and also press the bell icon to see more of these kinds of videos in the future.